going on, Fourth Initials podcast listeners? You got Stevie P. Going to do a quick DFS podcast. Wasn't sure if we were going to be able to get Kev on today. We're doing it on Sunday because last night was the Triple G Canelo Alvarez fight, and we both watched that. So, weren't able to do a podcast last night. I did some pre-gaming with that. So, I'm going to do the podcast today for DFS. Going to get this out there to you guys and hope you enjoy it. Maybe you win some money on your 50-50 lineups. Yeah, these are basically 50-50 lineup, players that I like. Today we're just going to be doing FanDuel because I really didn't. Last year I did DraftKings, but I just like FanDuel's setup better, especially now that it's, a flex spot. I just like FanDuel a little bit better. Next week I'll start getting into DraftKings, but for this week, just going to be a FanDuel podcast. So my 50-50 lineup for this week is going to be at quarterback Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck threw the ball 53 times last year. I told you guys how high I am on him. I know Washington is going to try to take the air out of the ball and, dink and dunk passes to try to keep Andrew Luck off the field, but that doesn't scare me. I think Andrew Luck is still going to throw the ball a ton in this game. They have a hard time running it. He didn't look great to me, but he's getting better, and he's only 7,500. He's probably some of the cheapest you're going to get him this year. So Andrew Luck for me, I'm going to start him this week. Todd Gurley is my next guy. Todd Gurley is just, for me, chalky. Everybody's going to try to throw Todd Gurley in a lineup. Just a guy you don't really need to explain too much about. The best running back in football right now. And I'm going to throw him in my lineup against Arizona, who's a pretty good defense, but doesn't scare me with the matchup. I'm actually going to play David Johnson against the Rams. Now, David Johnson is just so overly used that I think he could have a good game today. I'm not saying he's blowing up, but he gives you a really safe floor. A guy that I'm not worried about playing, could score you a touchdown or two. And if he breaks a long run or catches a long, pass, he's just so dynamic out of the backfield. Somebody I want to have in my FanDuel lineup this week. Cooper Kupp is going to be my wide receiver. In this, as you can see, I'm kind of attacking this game. I think Cooper Kupp has a really safe floor, and I really like Cooper Kupp. Like I said last week, if you watch that game, he's their red zone guy. He could score another touchdown in this game. Get you 5, 6, 7 catches, and that's a guy I want to get in my lineup. Jarvis Landry, to me, should be chalk to everybody this week. We all heard what happened with Josh Gordon and how Josh Gordon is going to be out because he can't stay away from drugs. We don't know that for sure. We don't. Let me preface by saying we don't know 100% for sure that it was a drug-related incident, why he's being released or why they're trying to trade him. So I'm not going to bash the guy just yet, but the shoe fits, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So definitely Jarvis Landry going in my lineup today. Quincy Enunwa is another guy going in my lineup, just so heavily targeted last week. And Sam Darnold seems to want to get the ball to Quincy Enunwa. And if they develop a rapport, which they look like they have, to me, a guy that I'm going to want in my FanDuel lineup. Travis Kelce is going to be my tight end. I know a lot of people are scared off of Travis Kelce from last week, but Pittsburgh always has trouble stopping the tight ends. Gronk kills them. Last year they were pretty good against the tight ends, but if you looked at the guys that they played against, they didn't play against really any good tight ends. So Gronk killed them last year. Kelce had a good game against them last year. Just a guy I'm going to put in my lineup and let him do his thing. James Conner is going to be my flex. He's just so ridiculously heavy involved. It is what it is. You got to play him going up against Kansas City, and I like that. And then my defense, for me, it's going to be a flip-flop. We're going for a cheaper defense, just somebody that might get you some points, and I picked Atlanta. I also could see going with Cleveland because of their sack totals. They get a lot of sacks and a lot of turnovers last week. You saw that, so that could be something that you might want to get into your lineup. So, either one of those defenses, 34 and 3,000, price tags on those two defenses is going to be something I want to get in my lineup. So, guys, that is the DFS podcast for today. We are going to be doing, like we told you guys, full-fledged into it next week. Like I said, I went to Florida. We're going to be all systems ahead from here on out. So, hope you enjoyed the podcast. Get these guys in your lineups. Try this lineup in a 50-50 or a couple of 50-50s and see if it wins you some money. If it wins you some money, all I ask is for some likes and some shares. Thanks, guys. Peace out.